Hey everybody, Dr. Dan here. This is it. This is the final module desktop lecture, and I want you to watch the final lecture that I've also posted in this module. It's about 15 minutes long and really hopefully summarizes some of the bigger lessons that we get out of history this semester. So again, there's two videos in this module. Make sure you watch the one called the final lecture, and this one is really important for just saying goodbye, but also addressing your assignment for this week. So what I always do in classes is I always try to leave the last module open in case we want to address any current events or if there's anything new that might be relevant. So I thought for sure we would talk about COVID, and our last assignment would have something to do with COVID. And there's no reading due in MindTap. There's no more textbook reading. There's no final in the class. So with the completion of this essay, you're done. And again, as I said in the other video, you'll watch how much I appreciate spending time with you guys and appreciate your patience as we've both worked through, or we all have worked through some difficult situations this semester. But we've made it through, and hopefully you learned something, and I'm proud of all the work that you all did. So with that in mind, what we're doing this week, again, is one simple assignment. And when you get into the module, go inside the last module and the assignments there with the instructions. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to write a simple essay. And it's based on this article you're going to read. And I've provided a link. And the article is from a physician, David Jones, and he's writing in the New England Journal of Medicine earlier this year. And the title of the article is History in a Crisis, Lessons for COVID-19. And the reason I like this article is because the author, Jones, references a historian named Rosenberg, who was writing in 1989. And Rosenberg had done a study of past pandemics, so historical pandemics. You know, we can think of the Black Death, right? That was the bubonic plague, and how bad that was in Europe, of course, in the between the 14 and 1600s, and then also all the way up to AIDS and swine flu and Spanish flu, and what Rosenberg's done is establish some pretty interesting, predictable steps on how societies respond to pandemics. First, they ignore it. Second, they blame others. Third, we learn about our healthcare system. We learn about our government via their responses. But the one thing he says in there that's really striking, and let me kind of get to it, Rosenberg concludes in a paragraph, and I have instructions for you, so you'll be able to find it, that epidemics provide a sampling device for social analysis, that pandemics reveal what really matters to a population and whom they truly value. So that's the assignment. I want you to read the whole article, then go back to the specified paragraph, read the sentence that I just read, and I want you to address both of these points in a brief essay. So the first one is, how has U.S. society's response to COVID indicate what really matters to the population, or what really matters to our society? So how is our response indicative of what really matters to society? And then the close corollary to that is, who do we truly value, and how does our response to COVID indicate or identify who we really value or whom we really value? And you can take this in a number of different directions. And so I don't want to give away the store here. Again, this is one of those assignments. The beauty of these history assignments is there's no right answer. But if you say, for example, that the response to COVID has indicated that society values toilet paper, okay, don't use that one, because I want you to be a little more serious than that. But if it indicates, if you're claiming that it indicates society values toilet paper, or society values alcohol, or society values healthcare workers, whatever your claim is, then make sure you back it up with some sort of evidence, because that's the whole key to writing these things. You can't just make a claim and not provide some sort of evidence. So if you were to claim that our response to the disease indicates that we value healthcare professionals, which is a really hard broad statement. If you're going to claim something like that, you better back it up with some evidence, and that evidence could be because healthcare workers are making more money now with COVID, or because healthcare workers are revered and they're getting special treatment, or they're getting the admiration of society. Whatever it is, make sure you have some hardcore facts before you make a claim. So that's all you need to do. I don't think this is really an easy assignment. It's a hard assignment to do well, or maybe not, but there's no rubric, so it follows all the normal requirements for essays in this class, which means the grammar it has to be college level grammar. If you cite anything, and I'm guessing you may, if you're going to provide some sort of backup for a claim, if you cite anything, make sure the citation and the reference is there, and preferably an academic reference. So follow those rules. Make sure you submit it as a Word document. The number one question is always like, how long do you want it to be? Well, make it long enough to prove your point. I would think this would be all of a one-pager at least. I mean, maybe a little more than that, but I don't think you can answer these questions with evidence in a paragraph. And I have a really good sense, after teaching as long as I have, when you haven't put any time into a paper. So do a good job on it. You don't have a final in here, and it's sort of the last dance for us. So in this case, it's not so much the right or wrong part, but I'm really interested in what you think. I'm really interested in what your perspective is on how COVID has affected us as a society, but more important, relevant to this assignment, I'm interested in your perspective on how we've responded as a society. Could we have done better? Could we have done worse? And what it's indicated. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you have a great rest of the semester. It's been a pleasure spending time with you. Take care now. Bye-bye.